Hello and welcome to this short video about harvesting of hay near Davis, California. I'm your host, Jamie Zachary Fox. You'll see tractors, implements, specialized machines, and various agricultural areas. The field shown is several miles south of the UC Davis University and a few miles east of the town of Dixon. It's just one of the bazillion fields for hay and forage nearby Davis. To begin a harvest, a tractor with a specialized header implement mows the crops, gathering it into rows. It looks like a regular tractor, but the cab is pointing backwards, and the mowing implement is slightly wider than the track of the front wheels. Note the agility of the tractor thanks to the rear wheel steering. These machines are fast and they're agile. You can see how much of this field has been cut in this morning's mowing. Bearing north, the mower is heading the crop, leaving the plants in a single clean row. This crop may be raked into larger rows contingent upon many factors, such as the type of baler to be used, the means of gathering the bales, the customer, and the final destination. The mower cuts about an 8-foot wide swath. That would require 27 passes to cut an acre. Depending on the crop, it may be baled up the next day or so or left in the field to dry for a while. Here's a baling activity a mile or two east of the previous field. Two things to note: multiple machines are active, and the middle row of crop, as seen previously, seems to have been raked. Using numerous mechanical engineering techniques, these balers optimize taking in the crop, compressing it, typically using hydraulics, binding it, and then depositing it in the field for later collection. And it just keeps putting out the bales one after another. Here on this field, we have 3 tractors hauling balers that are packaging the crop for accumulation, storage, and distribution. The typical unit of work is the day. So how many balers are needed to finish the field in a day? We've seen as many as 7 on some fields. Many hands make the light work or such. Many bales being left in this field, soon to be picked up and carted away. Here's a specialized machine that accumulates and stacks hay bales. This accumulator vehicle is designed for this type of bale. It's a complex machine sporting an effector arm that captures and places each bale, and mechanized platforms that move and stack the bale. The operator of this accumulator aims to load 10 bales. Let's watch. Note the movement of the arm grabbing the bale. It'll turn around and set the bale onto the platform. That platform now tilts backwards, the bale slides backwards. The operator drives up, collects a second bale. Again, this is put right next to the first bale, and now you will see this whole thing tilting backwards. Now in the southern part of the field, the 4 bales in the northern part have already been picked up. And here's a closer view of how the tilting happens of that platform. Despite the early morning shadows from the sun, it rises up, the bale slides, and then the operator is positioned to pick up the next bale. That bale is placed adjacent to the other one as the driver moves to capture yet the next bale. Those 2 bales will be tilted up, slid backwards, while the driver grabs this one and waits for the platform to level out before placing it. So that platform is back down, same process repeated. The driver places the bale is tilted to slide backwards, the next bale is grabbed, it is put adjacent. Then what you will see is that tilting will happen again, and this pair of bales will be stacked against the other 6 and then pushed to the back. And once they're pushed to the back, the platform will come down again, and the operator is looking to find 2 more bales. That will give a full load of 10. Now, this final bale is interesting in that it's out of a line, so the effector will be widened a bit. The V, it'll be opened up more into a V. It'll make it easier to get the corners of that bale. It'll be pushed around where it can be grabbed firmly, and it will be placed on the bed of the vehicle. The driver now is ready to head off and place these bales in another place. The operating aspect for right now is done. And as you can see, this driver does not dawdle, is heading out to place these 10 bales where the large group of bales are all being gathered for subsequent transport. The driver comes up to this stack of bales and begins by positioning the accumulator to back the bales into the existing pile. This is some very interesting and challenging driving. You'll notice that the bales, the entire bed begins to tip backwards, and when that began, the last 2 bales that had been put on the accumulator platform fell on top of the other 2. So now all these bales are in the similar orientation. As the driver backs in and places it, it'll tip forward. There's a hydraulic ram that's not visible right now that typically will push these bales off. Very fancy driving, very fancy placement, very nicely done. Now, as the accumulator pulls away, you'll notice that that entire bed will begin to go down, separate from the one that was moving to handle the bales. The bed comes down, and again, the driver here does not dawdle, but is quickly going back to pick up the next round of bales. It is typical to see hundreds of these large stacks of bales around Solano and Yolo counties. Here was an early stack of the season, surrounded by all of the implements used to harvest hay. The mower in the background, the rake and the baler in the front, and then off on the right was the equipment used to prepare the land once all these bales have been picked up. Now, north of Davis, along Route 99, here's a stack of bales. These, though, are not hay. These bales are called stover, corn stover actually. It's similar to straw, but it doesn't come from a cereal grass. Stover is about half of a corn crop. And these bales are here now, just waiting for trucks to come and get them and move them to a distribution center or to certain specific large barns somewhere around the Northwest. Back south of Davis is a stack of green bales, one of several crops taken from this field over the year. Fascinating, yes? Well, that's a quick view into harvesting hay in Northern California around Davis. Thank you for viewing. I'm Jamie Zachary Fox.